Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to continue with the friendship series, and also I want to make an announcement that I want to extend this series for next week as well, because I do have a few duos and trios to do the friendship readings for, so I'm going to also continue it for next week, because I have the week only has 5 days, so I try to do as many as I can, but I'm also very selective about what I do, because like I mentioned, I do not do this for shipping readings, nor conspiracies, no theories. I want to read for real connections. So today I'm going to do a request that actually a person did comment about this duo, and she helped me remember. She helped me remember that it was also on my list on prior recommendations, and it's about BTS, Jimin, and EXO Kai friendship reading. Of course, that if you haven't watched it, I have done a reading for the. I think it was called the Padding Squad. Was it the Padding Squad? I think it was called that way. Where all these. I believe that the one thing they have in common is that they are main dancers, and there are like 4 or 5 of them. And I know that Jimin and Kai are in this. But while this person wanted to know about these two specifically, so let's do it. I placed Jimin on the left and Kai on the right. So let's start with the reading. In the let's talk a bit about their energies for those who do not know it. Jimin, it's a Libra Sun with a moon in Gemini, and Kai is a Sun in Capricorn with a moon in Aquarius. So definitely a lot of earth elements. Like there's something about um, Kai and Jimin that they do have a sort of similarities in their energies. Probably this is one of the reasons why they could potentially also get along, because even though, for example, Kai is very Capricorn, somehow he does remind me a bit more of Aquarius energy more than Capricorn. I don't know why, but and Jimin, he has a lot of air elements as well, and I think that it must be energetically, it must be something very beneficial for main dancers, like having this amount of conjunctions and a lot of air elements. Some of them do have an interesting mix between water elements and air elements, so it does bring this sort of like harmony, fast moves, and fluency, and a lot of expression, but in an ethereal way. So it's really interesting. Um, so let's talk a bit about what the cards have to say. Jimin on the left, Kai on the right. I'm going to begin with Jimin. Jimin got the cards of the Hierophant, the Page of Wands, and the Hangman. So I think that for Jimin, actually, he is very respectful about traditions and stuff in when it comes to friendships, or probably who he associates with. So probably he does have a huge respect for Kai. I don't know. I don't think that there's a lot of Um, I think they're debuted around the same era, right? Because there seems to be like a sort of like admiration from Jimin's point of view, as if Kai had been around in the scene for the longest time, or for longer time than him. So there's this sort of like respect and admiration, but from a point of view of really admiring Kai's trajectory, or probably Kai's style, like and him actually feeling really small about it, like, because for me the two of them are very talented, and I don't know why, but I think that they are, even though their styles can be different, I think that they both of them have a lot of recognition. But from Jimin's point of view, it seems like he has like a lot of respect for Kai's experience. I don't know if there's something about Kai's trajectory that is something that actually Jimin is very like in awe, like, oh wow, he's amazing. A lot of admiration, a lot of like, oh wow, like sometimes he really like is amazed by Kai techniques. There's something about him wanting to learn from Kai experience, like, but also seeing Kai as this sort of mentor, or this sort of like keeper of knowledge, because here we have the Hierophant, the first card, that it's all about traditions, and at the same time it's also about the higher knowledge. So somehow he thinks that Kai possesses this very this very important knowledge, like he is this sort of like representation of legacy, of a very important legacy. So probably I think that there's something here that I think that it goes beyond Kai. I think that probably, since we are talking about an institution, because Hierophant for me it reminds me of institutions, I think that probably what Jiminy has a huge admiration for is SM artists, because I know he's also good friends with Taemin, and Taemin is also under SM, and Kai is under SM. So there's something about him really admiring the SM artists. Like, he really like admires where they come from, or where they had learned their skills, or like where they had perfectionated their their knowledge and their talents. There's something here that he really has a huge admiration. So, this is new, because actually I was looking forward to something more personal, but I think that what Jimin is showing me is that he actually has a lot of admiration for, probably he's talking to me about the SM artists, Taemin and Kai. I don't know if he knows, or if he is in his friendships with other SM artists, but the only ones I remember right now it's Taemin and Kai. So there's this admiration for SM actually. So I don't know if actually it could be possible that actually Jimin has access to SM, like that he had a sort of like entrance into a SM family, or to into, like, he hangs out with SM artists a lot, something like that, which is interesting, to be honest. It's really interesting. Like, I think that yes, but there's also I don't know how deep their bond is, because then we have the hangman. So, and also having the page of wands, I think he definitely is passionate about his friends. Jimin seems to be someone that he holds on really tight to the person that he likes. He's very loyal, and he's very passionate, and he's very affectionate. But there's also the hangman here. So I think that probably either they do not have time to spend time together, which is reasonable, because Jimin, as being a member of BTS, is always busy. But there's this sense of like feeling small next to Kai or next to the other friends. There's a sense of Jimin always feeling like an amateur in relationships. Like he feels like he is too innocent sometimes. Probably he is someone that he's like too authentic somehow, and that this he feels like it's a sort of disadvantage. And with the handman, it seems like their friendship actually is going through a period of stop, that their connection suddenly stopped. But it's not that they do not talk to each other. It's more about them not finding the right moment and also the right circumstances to hang out. There's this sense here with Jimin and the Handman. There's the sense of, oh, I wish I could do more for our friendship, but I cannot because I'm tied. My hands are tied. So I don't know if this has to do with someone advising him to not talk to Kai or to not hang out with this circle of people, because I think that since the Hierophant is here, like I mentioned in the beginning, we are talking about an institution, so I think he's fond of them, but something here with the Hangman is telling me that somehow he doesn't have the freedom that he would love to have. So it does affect his relationship, or probably the frequency in where they can actually meet and hang out. And I think he feels very guilty about that. He's like, maybe I should make time to spend more time with him. But there's this huge admiration. Definitely, I think that Jimin feels very. I think that they also talk about the things that they like, and they do have a very similar mindset. Um, And then from Kai's perspective, we have the King of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and the Hermit in reversed. So yes, also from Kai's perspective, I see his moon in Aries, his moon in Aquarius a lot of swords here. I think that probably for Kai is a bit more assertive in his friendship with Jimin. He probably is a bit more free, or has more time available, or actually has, like, I feel like there's a sense of Kai being a bit more free, or being a bit more in his power about his friends. Probably if he wants to see Jimin, or if he wants to talk to Jimin, he just does it. I think that Kai is in this position that he is the king of his own castle. So I don't know if maybe actually Kai enjoys of a bit more of independence. Probably he does have the means and the resources to, to go to bars, or to hang out with friends, or to invite friends over to his house or to his place. He seems to enjoy a bit more of flexibility, and also because I think he has a lot of friends. I think there's something about Kai, that Kai definitely, I think that he has friends. He has like a vigor. I don't know why, but I feel like his energy is very expansive, and that he's not. It's not about popularity. It's more about that. A Kai is like, he has like a bigger circle of people around him, probably family, friends, relatives, acquaintances, uh, people he works with. He always has dinner with different people. He seems a bit more like extrovert, but I don't think it's about extroversion. It's more about having the possibility to expand your circles, because it's like, Kai's evolution. He is he had released a lot of soloist projects. So there's this sense of him like, yes, I know people and people know me for Kai. You know, Kai is part of EXO, yes, he is, but he's also known for his individual projects. So there's this level of like, oh, people love me or hang out with me or are with me because of who I am, not because I am a part or I am a member of certain. There's a bit of more of growth in experience when it comes to Kai. Kai is a bit more bold. Because if you see the difference from Jimin's point of view, we have a Jimin represented by a page of wands. So, you know, the page of wands for me is the starter card of a very juvenile energy, you know, someone that is very passionate and that is starting in life, you know, like, and of course that Jimin is not a starter because he is part of one of the most famous groups right now. I mean, his popularity, it's amazing. But it seems like Jimin is tied to a lot of, you know, because we have the Herion Fund here. Remember that I said that this could potentially be SM or that he hangs out with members of other companies. And I think that actually this could represent Big Hit or Hive, actually. You know, of Big Hit and Hive being very, like, it seems that they are like, that Jimin is glued to Hive. You know, like, he is like a very, like, it seems like wherever he goes, like Hive follows. You know, there's this level of not giving him enough space. Of course that he is, because he's represented by a page of wands. So definitely it's showing me that Jimin is very outspoken and that he's very honest about what he wants to do. And if he wants to do something, you're not going to stop him. But at the same time, I think that there are a bit of conversations and a lot of words being said that somehow make Jimin feel a bit guilty about not following the rules. You know, like probably he does have a security team, or there's a staff, there's company, there's like a lot of, there's like, it seems like high people follow him around everywhere, like to protect him, of course. You know, I'm not saying that that is to actually interfere in his activities. It's more to protect him, you know, because actually Jimmy has a lot of value as an individual, you know, because he is one of a member very important in one of the most popular bands. So there's this level of protection. In the case of Kai, I see Kai being in the first place, you know. Kai like slowly, like, also here with the Nine of Wands, I think that Kai also went through a lot of like struggles and a lot of like power struggles, you know, and a lot of discussions and a lot of like resistance to actually win what he has today. You know, for Kai, it wasn't easy to have the independence that he has today, the recognition that he has today. You know, I think he had to actually break free from a lot of things, a lot of oppression, a lot of people like trying to fit him into a certain mold that he actually didn't feel like it was about him. So I think that he's slowly, like, you know, starting to be more true to himself, and this is why he's in the position of this King of Swords, you know, like, okay, I'm going to be friends with whoever I want, and I'm going to see the people I love whenever I want to see them, and you're not going to stop me. You know, he's slowly, like, you know, like becoming a bit more independent. Like, of course, I do appreciate what the company and everyone has done for me, but I want to stand on my own. You know, I want to be successful on my own. Let me do my thing. And I think that this also has to do with his relationship with Jimin, his friendship with Jimin. You know, it's about, you know, like, oh yes, I know we are both busy, but come on, let's make a moment, let's hang out, let's laugh, let's enjoy. I see these guys are really like probably they do have a lot of people like reminding them, oh, remember your job, your reputation, remember that people are following you around, you have to behave, you have to be a certain way, like always thinking about what the others want. So, it's all about them actually standing up for themselves and being like, you know what, I want to set myself free from oppression, because it's oppressive. There's an oppressive sense, and of course that it's maybe from the company's point of view, it's a way to take care of them and it's a way to protect them, of course, because there are a lot of crazy people waiting outside. So you have to protect your artists, but there's also this sense of I want to be, here Kai has the hermit in reverse. So there's this need, especially in him, to get out of the cave, get out of the dungeon. He wants to be seen, he wants to be more ambitious, he wants to be more outspoken. And I think that right now, more than ever, he wants to enjoy his freedom. And so he will probably like have more reunions with Jimin, and he would be like, okay, like let's see each other, let's make this happen, because I think that somehow Kai wants to enjoy the now. He doesn't want to leave things pendant. He wants to go out and see the world and experience the outside. Take a deep breath of fresh air outside of that goddamn building or the department or the dance practices rooms. He wants to go out and breathe, be on the exterior, like go out to life, probably travel as well. But yes, there's a bit of limitations about traveling actually, but I think that he's becoming a bit more like, I want to enjoy myself now that I have this freedom, because I don't know when will I have it again. There's this sense of enjoying the now. And then the cards that they got is the King of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. So yes, there's this very, I think that this king and this queen actually represents them, and them actually achieving, being happy for each other's success, because we have the Ace of Pentacles. So there's like, oh, I'm happy that you are doing your thing, and that you are like making a lot of progress, and that you are being successful. Probably for them, since they known each other since the beginnings, probably they know about each other's struggle, they know about each other's they have talked a lot, they had shared a lot of deep conversations, and they had shared a lot of insecurities that they both had about the industry and stuff. So seeing each other being successful in their own ways, and in their different experiences, and in them being different as well, recognizing each other despite of you know, having different styles about how to get what they want. The different, definitely they went through different paths of experiences, but they had been very acceptant of each other, like okay, like I'm rooting for you, maybe we don't get to see each other that often, but there's this sense of brotherhood, there's this sense of I admire you. There's a lot of admiration, guys, here, and I know that probably admiration is something like, it's a very like superficial world, oh, they admire each other. But I think that here, since we are talking about two amazing artists, I think that, we could have gotten, like different cards, for example, I don't know, cards of rivalry or jealousy, and actually here there's nothing of that. There's nothing of that. And sometimes it can happen that actually, there are idols that they just get along, or they just hang out with each other because, I don't know, their companies had arranged something, or they work together on a project, so they have to smile for the cameras, so that can happen, that can be possible, especially when you pull tarot cards, that the tarot tends to go that deep you know. So sometimes when I shuffle the cards, I'm like, okay, I hope I can get, a very, honest insight about how they feel, and of course that in here there's a lot of like admiration, there's a lot of like a brotherhood, but in the sense that I do not see like cards of cups. I always mention cups represent feelings, emotions. So what I'm saying here is that possibly there's like a lot of correspondency and reciprocity between them, but I don't see their bond being that intimate or emotional. So probably they do get along well, or they are like great buddies to each other, they are great friends or acquaintances, but I don't see their relationship being that emotional, so there's this sense of like, oh, I appreciate you, I admire you. When we are together, when we see each other, we have fun, and we really are really comfortable with each other's presence, but there's no like, oh, you are my soulmate or you are my best friend or something like that. No, let's not go that deep. So yes, this is all I have to say. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you are a fan of this duo and you would want to leave a sort of feedback, I would appreciate your experience. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.